ladies and gentlemen. You are listening to the Ironbark Podcast. I am your host, Epion, and today we have a guest, and I'm going to allow her to introduce herself to all of you.
Hi. My name's Hailee. And I am a tattoo artist that lives here in Alberta, but I'm from British Columbia, and I am a family of 5, and now I live here, and I work, and I live with my roommate. What else do you want to know about me?
I want to know all the things that pertain to nature and wildlife, in particularly outdoor recreation. What first made you love nature, that or brought you towards nature, or like made you enjoy being outdoors? Tell us the history of your enjoyment of the outdoors.
Talk a little more on that. I guess that is why we are here. I grew up in a town called Mackenzie, and that's about 2 hours north of Prince George there in BC. And I grew up, honestly, spending all my time in the outdoors with animals and my family, and just really experiencing like everything nature has to give. I grew up fishing, hunting, picking berries, camping, all that good stuff. So honestly, like ages, I'd say 0 to 14 until we moved to Prince George there, I really didn't spend much time indoors. We were always outside doing things. So I'd say, yeah, camping was my first time, I think, in nature where I was like, damn, this is for me. I'm not meant to be inside.
What was your favorite part of camping?
Honestly, all of it. Like, we would make everything fun. We would always take like pieces of driftwood, and me and my siblings, I have a brother and a sister, and we'd always make like a little badminton court and we'd always play that. And then me growing up, well, I guess now still I'm a strange little critter, so I would always like immediately run into the woods and find a piece of moss. And that was always my pet for the camping weekend, and it was always like a makeshift like hamster. So like weird little memories like that. But I'd say badminton, again, fishing. We never had like a fancy camper, so we would just bring a bar of soap and either take like micro showers in the camper there, bathe in the lake, and yeah, just roughing it. We weren't one of those families that like camped in a park. We definitely just drove out to the middle of nowhere and set up camp. So
did you ever put googly eyes on the moss?
No, I should have.
Missed opportunity.
Never ever. Yeah.
So when I go camping, I don't shower at all. I'm a disgusting monster. No, I'm kidding. I'll use, well, I mean, if it's like a campground that's like has showers and stuff, I'll obviously use those. But if it's a middle of nowhere, yeah, I think I'm using wet wipes. Like I'm just doing like a wet wipe shower. That might be kind of gross, but like that's...
Well, my mom only made a shower every couple of days. We'd always ask her, like, Mom, do we have to brush our teeth tonight? And do we have to shower? And she's like, we're camping, not tonight. So we roughed it a little bit in that sense, but we were definitely, like, hygienically aware.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
What was...
go ahead.
Sorry,
I didn't mean to cut you off. I was going to say another thing we did in the camper. My parents would always play crib. Me and my siblings would sit up, and like there's 2 parts of the camper. So like there's the bottom part where the table was that my parents would play crib at, and then up top me and my siblings would always sit and watch them play crib on like rainy days. And we had this thing whenever someone got skunked during the game, we would call it the skunk dance. And I would rap, and we would all dance like skunks. That's like another fond memory of camping, is watching my parents play crib and dancing like a skunk.
So the viewers and listeners are probably thinking exactly what I'm thinking
crazy?
Right now.
Yeah.
No, not at all. But how does a skunk dance?
You throw the tail around a lot, and like you're spraying. And then like the baddie song off of Fern and Gully, or is it Fern Gully? I don't know if there's an and in there, but we'd always like take that rap and make it like skunk version. So like my name is Skunky. Yeah, we're a cool family for sure.
I love it. That's amazing. That's actually funny as fuck. That's a good movie for Ngully.
Yeah, super
Batty.
good.
Rest in peace, Robin Williams. Those guys that wrote the Beatles were like some bad dudes.
Yeah, that movie was crazy.
Yeah. What was? Do you have like a memory of like a vivid childhood memory of seeing like an animal, like a wild animal that just like resonated with you? You're just like, holy fuck! Like, look at that.
Well, definitely, we saw a wolf once. It was my only wild wolf I've ever seen, and that was really neat. It was a big black wolf standing in the middle of a dirt road there, but it didn't really do anything. So like, seeing it was cool, but that was as far as that went.
I've only seen one wolf as well in my life, and it was a big white one, and it was on a road. It was like 3 a.m. It was like a gravel road. I was taking like a side road home at night, and I was like, "Oh, is that somebody's fucking dog?" So I'm like driving. I'm going about 40, and I'm catching up to it, and it's running down the side of the road. It's wintertime, so there's like snowbanks beside it, and I catch up to it, and I'm like basically right beside it, and I'm looking at it, and it's running, and I'm like, "Oh," I'm like, "That's not a dog." And it was beautiful though, like absolutely beautiful, but like huge. And then it was like also like kind of terrifying. And then I was just like, oh fuck.
Yeah, they're pretty massive. Ooh, another thing. Being from a tiny hometown, like when an animal's mother was hit, then it would come. Well, we lived near RCMP members, and they would always get the animals that were going away to wherever they went afterwards. But anyways, long story short, there was a mum moose that unfortunately got hit by a car. But then, so our family friends there, they took in this baby moose for the day until it got picked up. So I remember me and my siblings, I don't know how old I was, maybe about 7 to 10-ish. And we just went over to our friend's house and we played with this baby moose in their yard all day. And it acted exactly like a puppy. Like we played ball with it and it just wanted to snuggle, and it was the sweetest thing. So that's another definite special moment I've had with nature and animals for sure.
Damn, that's actually like a super cool memory.
Super cool.
That's super cool. Like I want to snuggle and stuff. Like,
yeah, it was exactly like a puppy. Just wanted to play fetch. Like we spent all day over there playing with this thing. It was pretty sweet.
Oh, that's wild how like some animals will just like they're apprehensive of people usually and they're afraid, but then like kind of like once they're climatized, it's like they know how to play. They know how to play with you. Like they're speaking a language with you in a way, right? Like
it's definitely like a universal language for
like,
sure.
It's weird because it's like here's an animal that's sort of like climatized to be afraid of you for its own survival, be cautious of everything, right? Like it could eat you, it could attack you, whatever.
Right.
And then it's like, okay, when it's climatized in a different climate, it's like it wants to play and it knows how to play. It can play with you and you can play with it, and it knows you're playing and you know it's playing. Like it's like a mammalian sort of like, I don't know, like this weird like it's not a connection, but it's sort of like this understanding is like, even though we're completely different like animals, we still fucking play the same.
Yeah, for
like
sure.
Isn't that weird? I think that's super weird. Like
yeah, it was definitely something that'll stay with me, living rent free in my brain for the rest of my life. It was definitely a special moment.
So what's your favorite animal?
My favorite animal, well, ultimately it would be the wolf. Growing up again, living in the woods. Yeah, Ironbark. Living in the woods. Then, I don't know. I'd always go play in the woods alone. I'd come back at dinner after a day of camping and look like a mess. My hair would be messy. I'd be covered in dirt. I'd have my moss hamster with me, and so I was given the nickname Wolf Child by my parents, and ever since then it's just and then my siblings told me I was raised by wolves, so I don't know, it kind of stuck with me, and wolves are definitely my quote unquote spirit animal, but I also like little critters like skunks and raccoons.
Yeah, those forbidden cats.
Yeah.
All types of forbidden cats. Possums, otters, they're all in there. They're all guilty of being cats.
Something about skunks, though. Skunks are just so misunderstood, and I relate, so I love them.
They got long, creepy fingers, though.
Yeah, but they're super snuggly, too.
You snuggled the skunk?
I've snuggled baby skunks, yeah, when I worked at a tree nursery near PG there growing up. Then one of the mums was hit by a vehicle, so before they came and got taken away, I would spend my lunch times at work snuggling these baby skunks. And they would do that stomp thing. Have you ever seen the, like, when they're in, like, defense mode, they'll do, like, this little stomp thing to scare away their enemies? Then
Do they, like, bounce on all fours, kind of? Like, it's like a...
No, like, they'll, like, rear up like a horse kind of thing. And
okay, yeah.
bring their front two paws down. Yeah, so I'd go feed them. We fed them tuna for a couple days until they were taken away safely. And then, yeah, I would just go spend all my time. Sometimes during my work shift, I would say I have to go to the washroom and run away to the skunks, and got in trouble a couple times doing that, but it was worth it. I got to cuddle a baby skunk, so.
Worth it.
Definitely worth it.
What's your, like, favorite outdoor recreational activities? I go hiking a lot. That's, like, mine, I think.
I think, like, definitely hiking. Again, anything to do, like, camping is huge. Camping is huge. I want to get into paddleboarding more. I have a paddleboard and a kayak, so definitely want to explore that a lot more this summer. But I don't know, again, just camping, just being outside, being away from, like, the tech, the work, all of that, being away from the stress. Like, going to the mountains is definitely, like, a reset for me. So anywhere in the mountains camping.
How do you feel about, like, the integration of technology into the outdoors? Like, a part of me hates it, but a part of me kind of likes it. Because, like, there's, like, a double-edged sword to it. Because it's, like, I can turn off the phone. Or not... When I go out into the middle of nowhere and there's no service, it's like my phone may as well be off. It may as well not exist. It's not connecting to anything. No one's getting a hold of me.
Right.
It feels... It's cool not to have that distraction. I still have my phone on me to take pictures and stuff like that, but I'm never, like, in my phone. Sorry, I'm never, like, in my phone at all. I'm constantly looking around, seeing the sights, looking at rocks, looking at trees, looking at birds, and I feel like I'm just more absorbed and present in what I'm doing as opposed to being slightly distracted. And I kind of enjoy that. But then there's also the risk that's involved. Now I'm somewhere remote. There are tons of hazards while hiking. You know, you could sprain an ankle. That's the easiest one. There could be a wildlife encounter of all sorts with a predator or just like a bull moose, bull elk. There could be a stray rock that falls. There could be like some sort of catastrophe, like an avalanche or a landslide. Like the list goes, like, I don't know, maybe a plant, you maybe get mauled by a raging poison ivy or something, you know, like, I don't know, like there's tons of stuff that could really do you harm, and then you'd really want to be able to contact somebody. And I mean, they do have satellite phones and stuff like that. There are pieces of technology you can sort of integrate to make your experience safer. It'll still take time for someone to come rescue you, but I kind of like leaving tech at the door, so to speak, and then being able to go into the wilderness and feel like you're kind of isolated in a way. I don't know. What do you say? What do you think?
I feel like for me, I don't have one of those fancy cameras that everyone that goes out into nature might have. Hint, hint. So like for me, my phone is my camera, and I love to capture memories whenever I see an animal or a cool plant or something that catches my eye. I love to take pictures. So my phone is my camera. So in that sense, I like it. But then even then I start to notice like myself looking at my phone, like, oh, did I get any texts? I'm like, oh, I'm out of service. I have like that weird little dilemma in my head, like, oh, I miss having service, but it's also really nice being out of service. So I'd say like for me, it is a beautiful escape. I'm just like everyone else our age, like addicted to technology. I'm used to looking at my phone every 5 minutes, you know? But it is nice, like, being away from that. But for me, like, I do like having my camera, which is my phone, so.
How many years do you think we're away from something akin or maybe exactly like AI being like, you know how we can use our phone to some degree translate what we're saying to someone and have like a conversation back and forth through our phone doing the translation for us? How long are we away to deciphering animal talk or like animal language, and then being like sort of being able
wild thought.
Like you could say something into your phone like come here, and it like generates a sound an animal makes, and that's basically telling it to come here, or the animal is like grunting something and the phone's telling you what it's saying,
like a translation app.
Yeah,
for animals. That would be crazy. I don't know, would it take away the magic of just seeing an animal out in nature and not being able to communicate? Like, I think something is special about that, just like witnessing it and like not having technology attached to it. I feel like technology is attached to absolutely everything we do nowadays, and I think like that's part of the magic, is going out into the mountains and being away from that and not having those distractions and just being able to really appreciate nature for what it is. So I don't think we need it. We can kind of like maybe make up things what the animal is saying in her head. Like if a skunk, like, I don't know, makes a little squeak at me, I could be like, oh, it's saying what's up. Like,
it says he wants me to pet it.
Yeah.
And then you go pet it.
And it won't spray me at all. Yeah. I don't think we need it. It would be cool for sure, but I don't think it's needed.
Do you think, so you know how people speak many different languages across the globe? Do you think all deer speak one language, or do they have like multiple dialects across the deer nation?
I've always wondered that. So like having pet dogs growing up, I always thought in my head, like, what would this pet like sound like if it could speak like a human language? And I always give like personalities to all of them. So like one would be like French. And like, I don't know, it's kind of fun. It's kind of fun to play around with that too. But I don't know. Maybe they would all speak like a universal language, but it's beyond me.
I think like it's kind of, I think of like a pack of wolves, and they grow up together, and they could potentially develop some form of communication that's familiar to all of them, because they're growing up, being raised, and they're passing on what certain things mean. But if you isolate it like a dog, you take it as a puppy and you grow it up in your household, and it doesn't know, it's not being taught like other dog words by another dog. Do you think like all animals are constantly in a state of like trying to communicate with each other? But basically what I'm trying to say is, do you think, like, you know how when we interact with someone, we don't speak their language and they don't speak our language, and we're sort of like gesturing a lot or making expressions? Do you think that's kind of just like what animals are doing constantly, as they're just trying to communicate with someone that doesn't speak their language?
Definitely could be. Like, are you talking within the same species, or like a bird talking to a deer?
Like you take a deer from like the East Coast, and then you bring a deer from like the West Coast, and you're like, okay, now talk. And like they speak completely different deer languages. So basically all they do is they kind of just do like the same sort of like, I don't know, like looks and like gestures and like movements.
I do think like animals are very, even though like humans are considered animals, I do think like the fuzzy kind, the scaly kind of animals, I don't know, they're a little more dramatic with their expressions. So like a dog will growl. Like if a human, let's say I'm angry at one of my girlfriends for doing something and I scowl at her, that's not the same as a dog growling. Like I do think animals make it very clear on how they're feeling. So maybe that's how they communicate. But as far as like a universal language, I don't know. Like,
you know when a dog like slaps his front paws on the ground when he has like his butt up in the air, and he like has his head tilted sideways?
When he's getting a butt scratch?
or like he wants to play, like he just like
yeah
like slams on the ground. Like all dogs know what the hell that means. Because he wants to play.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. Like a little more dramatic.
But like that would like we could communicate. We want to play with someone that couldn't speak our language. Like if we were kids, we could be like pick up a ball and be like, oh, look, a ball, and the kid would be like, oh, I know what a ball is, like, you know.
But I guess, like, speaking on that, like, I guess it is universal, though, and because I was just talking about that moose that would do the same thing, that wanted to play fetch. So maybe it is translated throughout.
Play is an important part.
But in the air equals play. Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. So tell me more. Tell me more about yourself.
What do you want to know about Hailee?
All of the things.
Yeah, well,
tell us about you're a tattoo artist.
I am a tattoo artist. I've been doing it for about 3.5 years to date, and I absolutely love it. It's definitely a dream. Grew up doing art, and it's funny that I say camping is my first fond memory of being outside, because camping, I would always bring my sketchbook every time me and my family would go camping. And sorry, I was holding the iPad away from my face. I forgot. Okay, cut that.
I was going to say something. I was like, it's fading.
I know. I got distracted. Okay, back to it. I'm learning here. Yeah, when me and my family would go camping, my siblings were always into sports. So they would go do their sports thing. And besides the badminton, I was always like the little nerd that just loved art. So I would always pack my sketchbook and my favorite pencils every camping trip. And every time while my siblings were off playing whatever they were doing that day, then I would sit by the campfire and draw my little pictures. And I don't know, when I went to school to become an art therapist, and I wrote my thesis, and like that was my core memory of like when I first fell in love with art, was when I was sketching my sketchbook near the campfire. And that's why campfire smoke will forever be my favorite smell. But I don't even know what the question was. You said tell more, so I'm just verbally
the question was like,
story.
You're a tattoo artist. You like
I am.
You like to draw. You're a great drawer. You do a lot of sketches. You make a lot of drawings. But
yeah, I do.
You don't have one of the Donald.
No, I don't have one of Donald yet today. Maybe in the future.
But I noticed that a lot of your art is nature based. It's based in like, you know, the outdoors, wildlife. So it looks to me as if you're drawing a lot of inspiration, or that's like where your heart lays. You know, what types of thing give you inspiration to create a design? What types of things inspire you, like across the board? It doesn't just have to be nature. Mm-hmm. I've seen like you have a diverse catalog of different things you draw. Just yeah, for sure. Like if I'll tattoo anything, I do enjoy drawing basically anything. Like it's a half and half, so half my clients will come to me with a certain expectation and design that they would like, so then those are when I kind of adapt to what they want. But if I'm just free drawing and drawing for like available designs, then yeah, it's always nature based. Honestly, animals is like part of my core being. They're just what brings me most joy, is the little critters and the plants and anything nature themed. And that's, you could see in like my sketchbooks, all from when I was a tiny little girl till now, like it's all nature themed. It's kind of what I enjoy doing most. Not gonna lie, if someone's like, draw me a motorbike with a motorbike engine, I'm like, shit, like I don't know much about that. Tell me to draw a furry little like skunk or a raccoon, I'm like all over it. So yeah, it's just really what I enjoy doing. There's a lot of stuff that comes with drawing animals. Like if you have something cute and furry, it's visually stimulating, it's cute, it's enjoyable, it's nice to have as a tattoo or design or a piece of art. When it comes to like other animals like bears, wolves, mountain lions, wolverines, they have like symbolism behind them. They can mean different things to different people. They can mean like strength, power, you know, ferocity. or just like look badass. You can implement like, you know, there's elements of like fear and that sort of thing. They can also mean different things too, like stoicism, like solidarity, or like strength in numbers, or like the lone wolf. There, or I don't know, like a mountain lion could be like a strong, independent woman that doesn't need no man. Different things. They mean different things to different people, and they're kind of, I don't know. They're like, I think that's a lot of people can identify. They can find traits in wildlife that they can kind of project onto themselves. I feel like this animal kind of represents me well for this reason, because I feel like it demonstrates this characteristic of me, and I'm proud of that characteristic of me, or I want to develop that trait more. So I want it to be sort of like a reminder on me or something like that. I think I think animals, like you see them as like logos on sports teams a lot of the time as well. And I think maybe for that reason, right? Like, I don't know.
Yeah, no, for sure. I think like, I don't know, there's the wise old question of like, do tattoos need to mean something? So for some people, absolutely, symbolism means a lot to them. Like, butterfly can represent like regrowth and reincarnation and all that good stuff. For me, like, I have a lot of clients that just want cute fuzzy critters on them, and they know my style, they enjoy my style, so they could just request one of those. So I think it's like a 50-50. Some tattoos don't need meaning, you know, and it just could be a fuzzy raccoon. I tattooed a little critter, like a little raccoon, on my friend last week just because she liked the way it looks. So definitely could have symbolism, but sometimes people just want like something that looks good on their skin.
Yeah, I noticed that
like
about
a decoration.
A lot of people.
Yeah,
they just, a lot of people that get tattoos, they like tattoos, and you know,
and that's what it is. And I, like, for me, I tattooed a rat with a mohawk on myself. Like, sometimes it doesn't need a deeper meaning, it's just a cute little critter. But for sure, like, they could, like the bear and a lot of animals do hold a lot of deeper meaning to people. So like, that's the beauty of my job, is I get to give people that, or I get to give people like a cute little critter that means absolutely nothing, but it's just a special to them. So pretty lucky to do what I do.
How do you describe your style?
It's definitely like, I would say like a more neo-traditional. I use different line weights in my work, so that's like thickness of lines. I like a lot of color. Of course, I'll do anything. I have a lot of clients that get black and gray work for me, and I'll do like the little fine script pieces. I do enjoy tattooing anything. Again, I'm lucky what I do. Like, I do enjoy tattooing everything. But as far as my style, I like the bold color, thick lines, critters all day long. I have one rad client, she's just getting a whole bunch of critters on her leg, and she'll just be like, yup, just like tattoo whatever you want on me. So I think we've done like a Highland cow, a skunk, a leopard on her. We just did that Scottish thistle on her. So just like a mix of like, I don't know, random things. And it's the coolest thing when like a person comes to you and they're like, we don't care what we get, we just want your art. And that's the ultimate goal, is like to build up my brand and build up my style enough that people just want my art no matter what it is. That's a surreal feeling for sure. Yeah.
I feel like a lot of people start to get like a like for a certain artist. They fall in love with like their character, their personality, some of their achievements, things that they've done, things that they've accomplished, other work that they've done, or maybe even people they've tattooed that they're fans of. You know, maybe they tattooed a celebrity and they're like, oh man, my favorite like soccer player got a tattoo from this person. I like this tattoo artist. Or it's just like kind of like that sort of indirect stuff. Like people get all over that.
Yeah, for sure. Mm-hmm. I haven't tattooed any celebrities yet.
Maybe you have, but you just don't remember.
Maybe they have yet to become celebrities.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Oh. Well, Hailee, I think that's a wrap.
Sick.
I think that's a wrap. I think cool. This is the end. This is the very end. I
think I just rambled. I don't even think I said much, but here you go.
So we have to end the podcast with a song, as per tradition that I just started now. Yeah, I don't have a song, but I figure we can do the Fern Gully rap, but as if we're skunks. And
yeah, I'll witness from a distance. Here you go. Here's your time to shine.
Okay, hold on a sec here. I got it. Hold on. What's the song called from Fern Gully?
I don't know. My name is Batty. That's all I know. That's all you get from me.
Okay, yeah, it's Batty rap. It's literally what it's called. Okay. Yo, my name is Skunky. The logic is skunky. Potato in a jacket. Toys in the attic. I skunk and I ramble. My brain is a skunk. Rap like an animal, but I'm a mammal. Okay, I'm gonna not do a skunk version of it. I'm just gonna do the actual. I'm gonna do the actual version of it because the actual version of it's way better.
Yeah, I was gonna say that wasn't it. Go with the bat.
Okay. Yo, my name is Batty. The logic is erratic. Potato in my jacket. Toys in the attic. I rock and I ramble. My brain is a scramble. Rap like an animal, but I'm a mammal.
Sick. Maybe you're. Oh, you're not done.
There's verses. There's bars here.
Okay,
I've been brain fried, electrified, infected, and injectified. He makes up a lot of words here. It's going to be difficult. 5-0-sectified and fed pesticides. My face is all cut up. My radar is all shut up. Nurse, I need a checkup from my neck up.
I was gonna say I haven't tattooed a celebrity yet, but maybe you'll be the first once this goes viral.
It seems to have no effect, doctor. They used and abused me, battered and bruised me, red wires, green wires, stuck them right through me. So hear my batty word and exercise a little prudence when dealing with humans. Phone call Mr. Darwin. All graduate students, please move closer to the scalpel. More nitrous oxide. This is just, I don't know. Who wrote this?
Encore, you have to do it all over again.
Okay. I'm a real fruit bat. My logic is erratic. I'm batty. It's my batty rap. Shave his head. It's just an animal. My batty rap. If you just take a little off the sides, who's batty? Moi. I'm sorry, everyone.
That's beautiful.
I'm sorry, it was terrible.
Great. Nope. that was something else.
Oh my god, I'm reading by my genitals? Is that what it says?
Excuse me? Robin Williams.
That says it in it? This is not real. No, it is. Robin Williams made this and that's what it says in it. It says, oh my OMG, I'm reading by my genitals. Insert the electro, we're losing him. Seems to have no effect. I kind of want to play the Robin Williams version, but anyway, folks, you got to go look that up. You got to listen to that song. It's a wild one. It's in a kid's movie. They say genitals. Genitals. Yeah, they do. It's in there. I said orally. OMG, I'm reading by my genitals. I've said genitals probably 5 times on the podcast now. I hope you tuned in to the very end of this podcast so you could hear me talk about genitals. Genitals. Gentle. Maybe it says gentle. We don't know.
We'll go with that.
All right. That's the end.
Perfect.
Goodbye.
Well, thank you.
Bye.
Bye.